So obviously you're kind of in the off season. Fall baseball is coming up here in the next couple of months. What's just some of your goals that you have for next year? Obviously, I know that you've been putting in a ton of time. I know that you've been working. I know that you want to get your body right. I know that obviously you want to play more next year. You want to play every single day if you possibly could. And obviously, you probably have huge aspirations next year.
hmm Yeah, some of my I actually just kind of sat down and talked about this with my guy Gregorio, who's he's kind of my mental training. He's technically like I don't know what you call it, a sports psychologist, but I'm really close with him too, and he's somebody who's helped me out a ton. We actually talked about this today. Kind of just he referenced Kobe Bryant's 81 point game. He's like he didn't know he was going to go out and score 81. He just kind of felt that day like he was ready. And once he saw a couple going, he's like, "Give me the ball." So that's kind of what he's like with. He's like, "Don't put any added pressure on yourself. Like, just you know what you need to do. Like we talk about daily commitments instead of like goals. Like daily commitments of, all right, I'm gonna get my work in. I'm gonna have a great lift. Just focus on day to day, things like that, and doing everything you can day to day versus all right, I want to go out and I want to be first team all Big Ten. Like, all right, we need to unpack that. What are we going to do that? Like, what do you like statistically? What do you need to do? Health wise, what do you need to do? Like, logistically, what do we need to do? Kind of just unpacking things like that. So, um, like for example, one of my goals next year is to have like over 1,000 OPS. So we're like, all right, let's break that down. So what does that mean? So it's like, all right, well, your slugging percentage is probably going to have to be closer to 600, and your OBP is going to have to be 400. All right, so how are you going to do that? Slugging wise, all right, well, I'm going to have to square up more baseballs, hit for more extra base hits. Um, my average goes up, my slugging will go up, things like that. So, all right, so what practice are we going to go into that? And kind of just unpacking those goals. That's another thing I've learned from Gregorio versus like, all right, I want to be first team all Big Ten. And then season comes and goes and you're not because you had like unintentional, not planned out training. Um, but yeah, kind of like daily commitments, like, and also mapping out my weeks. Like that's something I'm doing right now. I have my Google Calendar. I'll map out my week. This is what I want to get done. These are the days like I want to lift. These are the days, like for example, I had youth camp I had to run here, and then all right, I'm gonna get my training in after that. I'm gonna get my recovery in after that. Things like that, and just doing that every day, and being disciplined to it, whether I want to do it or not. And instead of being motivated, because I mean, motivation comes and goes. It's something that Francisco Lindor said. But if you're disciplined to things, like you'll do them every day. And kind of just being more disciplined with that, because I know if I do the things I need to do and I'm in the right headspace, I'm confident, I'm healthy, like I'm gonna play good. Like it's inevitable. And I know, like, obviously, like it's not inevitable, like anything can happen, but like for me, if I am in the right headspace and I'm playing for my teammates and I'm taking every pitch of the game one by one and just taking basically every day one by one for the next calendar year, I'm going to be where I need or want to be next year, right? And kind of just embracing that instead of, oh, I want to be drafted next year, I want to be in this round, like all right, I need to. And that's just like added pressure. Like you don't need to do anything. You just have to do what you know you need to do and do it every day to the best of your abilities, and then it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think having obviously that mindset maybe allows you to like be mentally more locked in, maybe not mentally like as down like if you don't necessarily succeed everything there because if you're like, "Hey, I want to be first team Big 10," but you don't have these small little goals, then if you don't achieve that, it's going to be considered as a failure. And maybe like that's eventually the goal you want to get to, and maybe that's the biggest goal, but if you do X, Y, and Z and maybe not get to the finish line, maybe you're not first team Big Ten because obviously there's voting, obviously there's certain things that go into that. Then you can at least say that like, hey, I achieved these small little things over the season, and that will make it a little bit easier and kind of focus more on how can I achieve this bigger goal or even achieve these things that might not necessarily be in kind of your I don't want to say capability, but in you're in control, and that's something that
hmm
you talked about really early on. Is control what you can control. You can
hmm
control how you have an approach. You can control your mindset. You can control how much time, how much effort, what you do, but you not necessarily can control every little thing. And I
hmm
think your
Yeah.
mindset and kind of the approach you've had is really great kind of switch and adjustment. I think it's unique and not something a lot of people really talk about or think about.
Yeah, it definitely like in terms of like the things I can control, like all right, my goals I'm gonna control. Things something that I can control is I'm gonna wake up when my alarm hits. I'm not gonna snooze it. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna eat breakfast, I'm gonna have 1,000 calories before X AM, right? Depending on when I'm waking up for the day. I'm gonna drink this much water, like things like small obtainable things that you can do because all those small obtainable things build up. And then once it's time to look at your big goals, like you're a lot farther along than you would be if you just um kind of went like without a plan, without like things that you can execute and know you can execute every day that give you kind of that confidence in your preparation that it's also gonna give you confidence on the field.
Exactly, and confidence is something again we've talked about is the key to have confidence, the key to just get ready, the key to have like the goals is confidence, and definitely seems like you've been putting a lot of work. Definitely seems like you have a ton of confidence, and I really do hope you achieve some of the goals that you want to achieve. Obviously, I know you want to play a lot next year. I know you're putting a lot of effort into that. I know that your future goal is to again be drafted, play in the minor leagues, play in the MLB. And I think kind of just the overall way you're approaching things is kind of headed to that direction, which I think is really cool. And it's something that seems like you really kind of adapted in the Cape Cod League, and it seems like it's going to be really beneficial for you in the next couple of years at Michigan and
See ya.
hopefully beyond.
Yes. But yeah, it was definitely like a learning experience. Like not necessarily learning curve, it's just I had to learn. Like I'd never been in oh one, I'd never played summer ball in college before. Like I'd played for Midland in right before our freshman year in Ohio, like before I came to Michigan. But that wasn't even the same as like baseball because like we didn't really travel that much, or and most of our games are at home, and we were playing like all right competition where you weren't playing like the best of the best, like you were on the Cape, kind of just learning and just and approaching every day like um with like a honestly a growth mindset. How can I get better today? What can I do to get better? And even like during the games, like you said earlier, like I wasn't playing in like it was funny. My teammates would razz me, but I'd have my eye black on ready to go, even if I wasn't in the starting lineup. Like, because I know, like, especially towards the end of the year, if a lefty comes in, like, I'm up to hit. And like, so that was like, all right, I need to know all their lefties. Like, how do they attack guys? Like, just that preparation piece and being more prepared. Because, like I said, you either prepare to succeed or prepare to fail. So I just prepared to succeed a little bit more, and I did as a result of it. So just kind of learning that instead of like being on the bench and pouting that I wasn't playing or blaming somebody else. I kind of turned the finger towards me, and that's like something that I'm kind of proud of because like when I was in high school, if things weren't going good, I feel like I'd kind of look for kind of like a scapegoat or like why I wasn't doing good or oh it's this or it's my swing or I couldn't see or whatever it was. But now it's kind of like I'm taking accountability for my career and like as far as that goes is as far as I'm going to take myself. And so yeah, kind of just adapting that mentality and approach versus like just doing what I'm doing and expecting different results or expecting like to be, like I said, team All Big Ten or like an All American without changing some habits and kind of adapting. So yeah, and that's where I've grown since I've come in as a freshman.